All right, we are live. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Misfit Corner Comics Presents. This is the artist Andrew speaking, and we are live streaming. I've sent out some invites. We'll see who's able to join. This is the Wednesday show of the Hero Hour. And give me just a half a second to check the volume. Make sure everybody out there can hear me. And we're good. We're good. All right. Let me get my pens out. Now, of course, my kid just made dinner. Look at this wonderful dinner he made. Potatoes and cheese and eggs and sausages. Oh, wonderful. But of course, I can't eat it because I'm live streaming. Sometimes that happens. Bad timing, but that's okay. I'm just going to take a nice little cloth, cover it up, keep some cats and dogs away from it, hopefully, and join you all. All right, let me get my pen out. So I'm going to continue working on this pinup that I started with Princess and Crom, and it wasn't earlier today. I realized some pieces that I was missing. I had drawn Princess earlier with a large necklace hanging from her neck, which I completely forgot to put on here, as well as big, huge, thick gloves that she had, which I forgot to put on her. So I may digitally add those in there. I may try not to screw the thing up completely. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and keep working on Crom because he's almost done. All right. Now, like I said before, this is my 0.7 pen that I use. This is the Uniball Vision. It says here, waterproof, fade proof, but whatever. It's a nice, comfortable pen. You can buy these at Walmart or Target or whatever. And this is what I usually use for my thicker lines. And that's what I'm going to use on Crom. All right. Next, we're going to work on the arm. I think I have drawn him with like bracelets, stuff like that. And I think maybe I'm going to do that as well. Originally, I had drawn it where it was all like bandages. But for this purpose, I'm going to draw the bracelets on him anyway. Of course, he's got these big old paws. And of course, claws. Doesn't have to be perfect. All right. Oh, Avery's here. Let me let him in. What up, man?
What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going.
All right. Well,
shaking off a headache I've had all day.
Oh yeah.
The weather's been terrible.
It has.
For 3 days. Like that plays hell with my sinuses.
Yeah, there was a day that I had to give a presentation at work, and I was dreading it, and my head was just splitting completely.
Yeah,
it's just ugh. And I think it was raining that day too, so it's probably a lot to do with the weather.
Yeah. But it's gone from being warm to kicking off allergy season to gray and rainy, like it coming in fast every day.
Yeah.
And it just tears me up. Like I'm like hacking and coughing and sneezing, and I have a headache, and it's just allergies. Don't freak out.
No. I don't think
even if you run a fever, don't freak out because you run a low-grade fever with allergies all the time.
Yeah, I don't think is headaches part of the
Yes.
virus thing? Really?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I heard it's mostly respiratory stuff, but then again, what do I know?
Yeah, you can have a runny nose and all that.
Okay.
It can give you tummy problems. You can have the poopies.
I don't have any of those problems, at least not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, my boss got on to me today because he needed some information, and I said, well, I for some reason, I can't access that information from home. I have to go into the office. He's like, oh, I really don't want you to go in. And I'm like, trust me, it's the greatest thing for social distancing because nobody's there. And he's like, all right, well, if you go in, get what you need, and then go home. And I said, I will. So I'll probably, I said, I go run by the grocery store and pick up some stuff on my way in. He's like, oh, don't go to the grocery store. It's like, still going to the grocery store, get stuff I need.
Oh, I've needed to go for 3 days. I just haven't because I'm just like, I don't want to go out. I feel awful.
Yeah. No, if I need something, I go get it.
Well,
no.
If at first it was like I only needed 1 or 2 things. Now it's 3 days later. It's 10 things. So now I need to go.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to be drinking tap water. You can drink the tap water. It just.
Yeah. Well, I have to reframe what I just said. I just said, if I need something, I just go get it. Well, that's not true. If I need something, I wait till the morning and I go get it in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't just go out in the evening and get it because those places tend to get crazy.
Yeah, I was awake to go get it in the morning. I just felt horrible. I was like, I don't want to go out in this crap.
Wait a minute. I just realized the handle of the sword is in this direction, and I drew the pencil of the sword going this way, so that's not right. I got to redo this. Redo the angle of the sword. The angle of the sword's dangle.
Yeah, it's a dongle. It's a Romanian dongle.
Yep.
You don't even know what that is.
Nope, I have no clue.
That's all right.
Yeah. You can explain it to me later. That's fine.
No, I'm not going to explain it to you.
Okay.
Some of our audience members would be like, I know what that is.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you. It's more fun for you not to know.
Yeah, there's some things I just don't need to know.
It's nothing bad, dude.
Okay.
It's nothing bad, bro. It's nothing bad.
I hate to say it, but that's why I need Kodiak here, because he would say something that was really bad, and he'd start laughing, and then I would know, okay, it's bad.
Yeah. Romanian dongle isn't anything bad.
Okay.
It just sounds bad, but it's not.
Okay. Whoops, that's not where that's supposed to go.
It sounds much worse than it is.
Yeah.
Ever been looking for something and you can't find it?
Actually, this probably needs to be a little bit thicker. There we go. That'll be good enough.
Because you know what? It really helps if you look in the right spot instead of being stupid. That's probably the best.
Oh, when you're looking for something?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, my wife has a tendency. She will spend hours looking for something, and then she'll tell me what it is she's looking for, and then I'll go right to it, and it pisses her off. But it's just how it always happens.
I broke my Kraken headset, right?
Yeah.
So I went to go get my Turtle Beach headset, right? And I'd been using it just as headphones, so I had the mic unplugged.
Right.
Well, I couldn't find the mic. Well, I eventually just stumbled across the mic. Now I don't know what I did with the headphones. Because I'm using my Krakens and they're broken. One of the earpieces is completely busted. And it's quite uncomfortable.
You know, they always say check your refrigerator first.
Yeah, I don't think my Turtle Beaches are in there. There's not a lot in the fridge. That's
You'd be surprised where we find stuff.
There's not a lot in there.
It's when you have like a usual place you put stuff, and then you put it someplace different, you completely lose it. That happens very often in this house. Yeah, my son was actually doing some cleaning in the kitchen, and all I could think to myself is, if there's anything in there, I'm never going to be able to find it now because he cleaned up the kitchen.
Oh, that happens to me every time my mom comes down. I can clean, she'll re-clean when she gets here, and I can't find anything I'm looking for. I'm like, what? I'm calling her a week later, like, hey, what do you do with like the batteries? my spare batteries I had for stuff, because I can't find it.
Yeah. She put them in a drawer or something, thinking that's where they go. And
Yeah.
Yep.
Someplace crazy. Like, why would you put batteries in a drawer?
Well, that's something that most people put in a junk drawer.
Yeah. I know. I just leave them on the counter, like, because I don't actually use my kitchen table. When I came in and set the package there, that's where it was going to stay till I needed it.
Right.
So now I can't find it. There's a method to my madness.
Yep.
Or am I just on meth? No.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case.
No, I'm way too fat to be on meth. Are you serious? There's no way I'm a meth head. Have you seen me?
There's that one comedian. He did a Netflix special, and he's a heavy set guy. And the guy was like, "Are you on one of those drugs that anytime you know somebody who's on those drugs, they're always very thin?" And he's like, "Do I look like somebody who would use that drug?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, you're right."
Yeah, like
that would be the same
like
case.
Heroin or meth or crack.
Yep.
It's like, do I look like?
Yeah, there's telltale signs, and you and I don't fall for those.
Like, you remember how in the 90s there was this look where all the models and everybody was like super thin, and they called it heroin chic?
No, but I believe you.
Well, this is because everybody was on heroin in the 90s. It was the big, all the cool kids were on heroin.
Oh yeah.
Kate Moss, every grunge rock star that died in the 90s was a heroin addict. Even some of the ones that have died since then.
Is heroin still a thing?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Man, I don't know either.
I remember it. Lola Meets like I remember.
Yeah,
that.
I see that.
Yeah, that was like, heroin was big in the 90s, man. All the cool kids were on it.
What was the one? Wasn't it I know it wasn't crack. Was there a marijuana thing at our school? Bishop Kenny or something like that?
Okay, there was a lot of drugs at our school.
Yeah.
But even the straight A kids did drugs. Like Courtney Love. Oh my God. Yeah. She was a mess.
I never got into the drug scene, so I have no idea. I've been told that.
Yes. I knew some of the kids that used. The thing is, though, actually, a lot of those kids were actually recreational users. They weren't hardcore addicts. There were a couple of kids that were hardcore addicts, but a lot of them they dabbled, and that's as far as it went.
Yeah. Yeah, my brother-in-law, who went to Fletcher, told me that was where the DA kids would go to get their stuff.
Oh, Bishop Kenny?
No, Fletcher.
Oh, Fletcher, yeah.
But Bishop Kenny was close by. So
yeah, some of the kids at DA sold drugs.
Really?
Everyone is high, even the priest.
Yeah, I missed out on that whole scene.
I didn't do anything.
Yeah, but I didn't even know about it, though.
Oh, I know.
I was ignorant of the existence.
Yeah, sure. No.
Well,
you weren't the type anybody would.
That's true.
Like, psst.
That's true.
Hey, you.
The one story that I tell the kids, the closest I ever came to marijuana was that time that you were in Atlanta with Todd, and Romel and I drove up. I don't remember if that was for his graduation or what, but when Romel and I got there, we walked into the dorm room, we walked into the door, and there was a horrific stench in the air.
No. Romel could smell it as soon as he got off the elevator.
Romel knew exactly what was going on, and I was like, "Oh God, this place stinks!" And you all are just smiling at me. Nobody said a word to me.
Oh,
You
We
know,
were high as fuck.
I know. You guys told me that years later. I had no idea.
No, it was just the summer. Todd stayed there at college for the summer to take some extra courses, and
Yeah.
I was just there to hang out. I think we were going to a convention or something after that.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah, you came up. We were all going to go to HeroCon in Charlotte, but I was there and just hung out in Atlanta and stayed at Todd's dorm room for like a week before you got there.
Yep. Yeah, because I remember you were already there. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were.
I don't remember anything about that trip other than that incident. So I'm not even sure what convention we went to. It may have been Dragon Con. No, we only went to
No.
Dragon Con one time.
It was no. We went to Dragon Con a couple of times.
Well, I only went to Dragon Con one time prior to that.
I can't remember when was what, but I've been to Dragon Con a few times. Maybe you weren't there for all the times I went to Dragon Con,
No, I probably wasn't.
but I've been to Dragon Con a few times.
Okay. I went that one year with you guys, and I was not impressed. Now I've been back since then and had a good time, but that show just the one thing I regret is that the show that we went to, Lou Ferrigno was there, and I was like, I could care less, you know. And then Mike Waringo was there doing free sketches.
Yeah.
And at the time, he was like working on Flash,
Yeah.
and I wasn't a fan, and so I was like, it's all right. I'm not going to stand in this long line, and it wasn't that long of a line, but it was like, no, it's all right. I'm not interested. That was well before I collected Batgirl sketches. So had I collected Batgirl sketches, I would have gotten one from him, but I didn't because
Yeah.
Oh well, and he turns out to be one of my favorites and an influence and
dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lola Meat says, to be fair, marijuana should not be considered any different than alcohol. I agree. Even
Yeah,
though
but
I'm not a user.
I don't do alcohol either, so
Yeah. This kid, and it's not like he's trying to be straight edge. He's just that boring.
I leave it to my children. You know, they're not as straight edge as me.
No.
Hell, I didn't.
Your kids are way cooler than you, just so you know.
Yeah, they are. Oh, my son's got a phone interview. I think he said tomorrow. So here's hoping to get something new.
Sure. It's awful. I worked Monday and I work Friday. That's it this week.
Really?
Yes. I am like, cool. How long until I end up homeless? The clock is ticking.
Is it just because there's not as many customers and so forth, or?
I don't know all the reasons. They don't explain them, and I am essential. I mean, expendable. I mean, I don't ask. Right now, it's like if I've got like a buck for some ramen noodles and enough gas to get back and forth to work, I'm thankful. Thank you.
I wish I could hire you at my store. That'd be great.
No thanks.
Yeah, I know.
I don't want to work for you.
I know. You've been there, done that, right?
Yeah, like that.
Oh, you know what I found? I found. Remember, I told you guys that it was recommended to me to apply for the small business, the thing that they were pretty much giving away to small businesses. All you had to do was apply for it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I finally got the information on it, and the amount, it's up to $10,000, but the amount they're paying out is based on how many employees you have.
You have none.
I have one myself.
Yeah, yourself.
So my potential for getting a loan or whatever it is, this is a loan that turns into a grant after so many months, is greatly depreciated based on the fact that it's based on number of employees. So in other words, I could have lied to them, but I didn't.
Ramen noodles and weed sounds like college. Yeah, that's the appropriate time that you should be doing that, not when you're my age, trying to make it as an artist, which is why I'm so stupid. But you know,
you got anything you're working on that you can show with anybody, or?
No, that's all a long ways off.
Okay.
That's the reason I don't talk about it, because it may not happen. I may get part of the way into it and realize you're a dummy. This is a bad idea.
Well, I think your art's fantastic, and I can't wait to see whatever it is you're working on when
Yeah.
you finally get back to it. So.
I have that one page done.
Mm-hmm.
I have my little scribbly layouts for the next few pages. Some ideas in my head where the story goes. And I have the rough draft of the first short story for my YouTube channel.
Very cool.
Written.
Very cool.
And it's I want to make something on my channel, and I need several of those in the can,
right,
done before I roll things out, because I want to have at least one of those a week, then one art video a week related to the book, and then 1 or 2 live streams, and that would be a lot for me to do. That's
yeah. Well, that's cool.
And so, but the live streams, those are just done off the cuff. But and I do need to make that video for the Littlest Umbrella, because I still haven't even opened it. I need to make the little, hey Tug, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm happy for everyone in Comicsgate. Everybody that's getting their books made, whether I'm personally a fan of them or not, irrelevant. I'm still proud of them for succeeding, and I want people to do well regardless.
Yeah, I know he was fulfilling. I haven't been to my post office in a while, so I don't know if I've gotten my copy yet.
Probably have it, because I've had my copy for 2 or 3 weeks or longer.
Really? See, I usually only just go in and pay the bill each month, and then So, yeah, I really need to check on that. Matter of fact, my rent for the post office box was due yesterday.
Yeah.
And I went by to pay it. Didn't realize that they had changed their hours, and they closed 2 hours early. And it's like, crap.
The art streams, the live streams where we just sit around and bull crap and talk crap about stuff and the art streams are mainly only going to appeal to people already in CG.
Right.
But the story videos where I tell these creepy little stories that are part of the background lore to the series is hopefully what will help bring new people in, because these sort of cryptid style horror stories that are told this way on YouTube are big.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing on here. There's a bunch of channels ranging from little to pretty damn huge. All over YouTube that do this type of thing, and they're all telling other people's stories, where I'm telling my own story with my own character, that's set in my own little universe.
Yep. Well, that's cool. I look forward to it. I will promote the hell out of it for you, or the best I can. I have a small audience, so.
Lola Meat says, okay, this is going to sound horrible, but I smoked way too much in college and can't remember, folks. Where can I find this awesome art? Andrew's art? You can find his art on plug your Twitter and your Instagram.
I'm barely ever at either of those places.
But still, people want to look, or plug your website where people can see a gallery of your art.
Yeah, just go to misfitcorner.com. Now, where is your stuff at? That's the appropriate question.
My stuff is on Twitter, illustrations.
Do you have? Don't you have an Instagram?
I also have an Instagram. It should be illustration_762.
Yes,
I believe. Let me bring it up. Let me bring up Instagram, because sometimes I forget. Because I've changed my name on YouTube a couple of times to shorten it. Let me see.
You don't still have a DeviantArt, do you?
I started a new one. I deleted the old one because of all the erotic art.
Right.
Because I was coloring Hero, and I wanted to put the best foot forward with all that.
I appreciate that. You're such a good guy.
Illustration_762 is my Instagram, and the Twitter is something similar. Or you could just type in Avery Butterworth, and you'll probably find me that way.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're the only one out there.
There is other Avery Butterworths. One's a little kid, and a couple are like teenage girls.
Yeah, I do remember seeing that one time.
Yeah, it's just illustration762 on the Twitter.
On the Twitter.
And I on Twitter, I really like to retweet people's projects. So, especially what Tampa and some other people make great posts where they put together just like a bunch of different campaigns in one tweet and they just put it out and everybody retweets it. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, I barely go to Twitter.
There's a couple other people that do it though. I believe R2D2 for Life does that. Tampa does that. There's some other people that do it, and it's great. Fantastic. Thank you, Lola Beans. I appreciate that.
All right.
Yeah. I get a couple more pages done. I may start. I don't know how you were not following me. It can happen. I'm not very well known. You know, I sort of got my toe into the mainstream years ago. Then it got slammed. And I was just like, wait, how come no one will let me back in? What's going on? It was weird. It really was weird. People, I'm not going to name names, but there's people like who are known and that would talk to me, but I couldn't get work. They would be like, "Oh, your stuff's pretty good." Well, okay, cool. How can I get work? What's going on?
Yeah, we live in a different world nowadays, you know.
It was weird. I don't know. I couldn't play the politic game, man. I wasn't good at it. Yeah, Twitter is a cesspool. You are correct.
Yes, that is true.
Twitter is digital AIDS.
Ew, icky.
Yeah, it's Twitter is the binary equivalent of herpes. Unfortunately, it's kind of necessary. It really is a great way to post links to people, you know, to get people in your channel, to spam all your followers with what you like and what you know, like, hey, look at this. You know,
is that what I've been doing wrong? Not using Twitter?
It can help. Listen, people in CG do notice whether or not you retweet and to at least try to help. They notice.
Well, I just
they do notice.
I have
when you raise your hand to be like, I'm CG, I have a book to promote, and if they look at your social media and you aren't also promoting others, they just they kind of look at that and go,
Well,
Twitter is a double-edged sword, yes.
My problem with Twitter, and it's one of the same reasons why I don't go to Facebook anymore, is I'll start scrolling and reading stuff, and then a half hour later I realize, what the hell am I doing? I'm wasting time.
Okay, here's how you avoid a lot of garbage on Twitter. You hit and run. You go in, you scroll through your feed, you go, I like that, retweet that, I like that, retweet that, like that, retweet that, and then you get the fudge out.
Yeah, I tend to get lost in some of the posts. And
yeah, no. You go, ha, 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 that's funny. Retweet, like, retweet, like, and get the fuck out.
Yeah. I probably need to work on that a little bit.
Yeah, it's great for promoting, but it's all the other BS that distracts. Correct, Lola. Correct. Yeah, that's the reason I have that's why sometimes when it comes to the drama, sometimes I'm late to the party. Well, Andrew's non-existent to the party.
I'm oblivious to it. I'm totally oblivious.
I'm a little late, or sometimes I just have a cooler head about it sometimes because I'm finding out about it later and I'm finding out about it like a day or two later. So I'm able to stay a little calmer and not react as fast. Because that's the thing about social media is you can, if you tweet or spam out or post on Facebook your gut instinct reaction to something, you can make something worse instead of better.
Right. And a lot of people do that nowadays.
Yes, that's the thing. It's fire and forget. And me with my sense of humor, it's best if I don't do that. Yes, exactly. 280 characters cannot convey a situation so well. You only get bits and pieces. Plus, sometimes people also tend to want to be hyper literal, and take a joke or hyperbole as you meant it seriously. And I tend to be an ass. So
Yeah, yeah.
I keep my Twitter to, hey, that's cool, thank you, retweet, like, and that's about it. I keep it. I, I dial it down.
I was going to say you keep it professional, but
Yeah, no, a little bit on YouTube because it's longer form and you have to be entertaining. I tend to let a little more of my jerky personality out.
yeah,
But it's in a format where people can get to know you. They hear your tone of voice and they understand when you're just joking.
yeah. Sometimes I forget that part.
So it helps. It helps. A long format makes it easier for people to get to know you and not take everything so hard. Where in Twitter, when you say F something on Twitter, you don't get context. Is it a joke? Is it, if I tell somebody, hey, fuck you, buddy, and I tell them on Twitter, it's got a whole different thing in text. And if I say it and I'm laughing.
Yeah, Kodiak still gets worried when you leave that you might be mad at him for something like, forget him. Don't worry about it.
I'm not mad at Kodiak.
I know but he gets worried sometimes.
I don't get mad at Kodiak. I want to strangle you.
Oh yeah, whatever.
I wasn't mad the other night when I left. I was just laughing like, ha. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm gonna go. I don't want to hear this later.
Oh, that's what we were talking about, Todd McFarlane. You didn't.
No,
care.
I left the other night too.
Oh.
You're like, guys, people don't interrupt Ethan Van Sciver. I was laughing, then I just said, I'm just gonna leave.
Yeah, I kind of got a little little ass of myself, and knew it, and apologized later. And
no, Andrew, say it ain't so.
Yeah.
Did you spurg out? Did your autism get the better of you?
It started to.
I think your tism. Yeah, I know. That's the reason I laughed and left.
I know.
I was just like, I'm gonna let him choke on this one all by himself.
And I did.
Yeah.
But I apologized to the guys afterwards.
Yeah.
That's really stupid. Because I would.
A couple of people are in the chat are saying how much they love your piece, man.
Oh, thank you.
Pound sign the band in the chat. Come on, man. Yeah. Evan's not here to remind you.
Hey, I thought you were doing a great job reading what was happening, so I appreciate that.
Well, I might be a little behind because I'm using the StreamYard's version of the chat, not the actual YouTube.
Oh, yeah, that is a little bit behind. So, all right, I'll take a minute and
read the chat, man. Come on, man.
I will.
These are your people. You need warm hearts, and open wallets, man.
Okay, we have Lopsicat.
Exactly.
That's a great name, but I have no idea. It looks like great. I am loving this piece. Thanks, Lola. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is I started this a few days ago with an idea for a story, and this is kind of just like a pinup idea for the story, and whether I actually make the story happen or not, that's a whole nother thing, but this is kind of like a placeholder.
Yeah, that's the reason I'm not showing too much what I'm working, because I'm like, it may not happen. I may get part of it into this and be like, ooh, I am nowhere near good enough to achieve what I'm trying to do. The art I'm not worried about. I can tell the story. It's me as a writer.
Right.
I've written some short stories that got published, and I've self-published some short stories. I've drawn some comics that I wrote, but those never got published. That project died years ago.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like me full on writing a book. Plus, I'm like, is this going to work as a 60-pager, or am I going to have to do it as 2 48s? To give a little bit of backstory, just a little bit of backstory, so you know who what you're dealing with and tell the modern story,
Right.
doing that in 148 pager can't be done. It may have to be six. I'm hoping I can do it as a 60, but it may end up having to be 248s, and I don't think I'm going to be able to do oversized. Like I wanted to do the European size,
Right. Right.
but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that.
Did you see Zach's video where he was reviewing that the Die Hard book?
I haven't watched a lot of people's videos lately. I've been catching up on what's been going on with PewTube stuff.
Gotcha.
I'm watching the
Well,
PewTubes.
It was a graphic novel that was hardbound. I don't remember what the name of the company was that did it, but I was shocked when he showed that the art was done. It was all painted art by Mark Texiera.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, ooh, yeah, but it's, when you see it, it's not good. It's really not good.
Oh, wow.
But
See, it sounds promising, then it's like it's not good.
Yeah. Well, actually, one of the things he pointed out, which I thought was hilarious, is in the back of the book, they were showing off some of like his layout pencil pages, and you could actually see where he wrote at the top 7 pages, $1,750, and or something like complete or something like that. And Zach did marine math in his head and determined that that was $250 a page, fully painted pages. And he's thinking, Mark, I could give you so much more. Reach out to me. And I'm like, oh, I don't know if Mark Texiera's. Yeah.
I would do full. I would love to do a fully painted comic, but I really would need to get paid to do it because you're talking 3-4 days per page.
Yeah. And trust me, the art that he did for this, he didn't do 3-4 days per page.
Yeah.
It was a lot less.
It would really take a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there was a time, man. Those guys that did when the painted comics were the thing. The well-known dudes, man, were getting $1,000 a page or more.
Oh yeah. I would rather see a creator-owned project from him and not some.
Sure.
And I think it was the writer was Frank Tieri. I know the name, but I couldn't for the life of me pick a single project he's been on. Yeah. But I know the name.
I was browsing through the Xbox store looking at sales.
Yeah.
Because these old games I like that I want to play that I don't have anymore. Knights of the Old Republic are on sale for like $3.50.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'm looking at and I'm just browsing through the games that are on sale, and I see a game based on a comic book that I had no idea had a video game. I don't know if it's any good or not. I don't know. But there was a video game for Black Sad.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It may be one of those story-driven things like the Telltale games. I'm not sure.
Oh, wow. That's cool. I love Black Sad. I think it's a fantastic book.
And I just recently got like the Batman Telltale thing, all of it for free.
Oh, yeah?
It was one of the free games given away. Xbox gives away free games every month. You get new games at the beginning and middle of each month. And sometimes it's something good.
That's cool.
Like I've never played Fable. I've gotten where I love RPGs, but I've never played Fable. Well, now I have Fable. I got it for free. And it's still a $30 game, even though it's an original Xbox game.
Right.
No, it's a 360 game on original Xbox. But it's a pretty old game. It still costs $30. I'm just like, I'll take it. I'll play it. I might stream it. I don't know. But I'll have to stream it to Twitch, then upload it later to YouTube.
Well, as long as you only show cleavage and you don't show boobs, you're okay.
I don't know.
They've put out a new approved attire wear for Twitch. And cleavage is okay, but bobs are not.
You've never been able to show bobs on there.
Well, there are people that get away with a lot of stuff over there.
They do let a lot of, they have been letting the thoughts get away with a lot over there because of the money they bring in.
Yeah, well, supposedly they're cracking down.
Yeah, I mean, I would make an awesome Twitch thought. I mean,
Oh, I think you would. I absolutely do.
oh man, just put this hairy man chest in a nice push up.
Hey, there is somebody out there right now looking for that. You know,
Oh
and
God,
you're denying them by not doing it.
you know what? You're right.
Mm-hmm.
I've been thinking about a career change, and Twitch thought might be the road for me.
There you go.
Put on some little booty shorts and a tube top.
Yeah, I think you and Kodiak should get together and start a whole new
and stream
industry.
stream Fortnite while claiming my my stream is for adults.
We're picking on Kodiak and he's not here. That's really mean. That's really, really sad.
I don't know.
All right. I think I'm close to finishing
It's not
up.
bad. That doesn't completely suck, man.
No, well, the funny thing is I scanned it. Yeah, I know. And this is a guy I call my best friend, you know. But
I like the fact that you built up like some of the line, like you could have done those darker, heavier strokes in the fur with a brush, but I do like that you built it up to give it more weight.
oh, you know that I'm so horrible at the brush thing, so I try to avoid that if I can. But
I do like that. It helps because if his arms like underneath were the shadows, if you just thin lined that fur and not build it up, it wouldn't work.
Right.
But I like that you did that. It gives him weight.
Actually, believe it or not, there was like an errant ink mark, and I went, "Ooh, I got to hide that." So I added it, made it look like fur, and then I just started adding it all over because it made sense and it looked good. But yeah,
that works.
All right. Oh, well, hey, I got I saw an article just briefly, an announcement from Marvel, and I wanted to talk about it. I hadn't read the article yet, but I mean, I know since you're such a huge fan of Marvel that you'd be the perfect person to share it.
God, yes. Modern Marvel. Oh man, talk about the true masters. Oh, I mean, you pick up your average modern Marvel comic, and you're like, Kirby who, Ditko who, John Buscema, Gene Colan, Mike Left, Esty. I'm going to hell for that joke.
That's all right.
Rightly so, because all those people were gods.
Now, here's the thing I did with this is it was a Bleeding Cool article, so I went and just screen captured it so that we don't have to actually go to the Bleeding Cool article. I figured you'd probably appreciate that.
I could probably get herpes by through the internet from your Mac to my PC.
Yeah, take your headphones off and put like a piece of paper towel between your ears and to protect you from the herpes, from the internet herpes.
Yeah.
So, all right, here I wanted to read what this said because it sounded like it might be important. So I figured we could talk about it. It says, Marvel tells more comic creators to stop work for now. This is posted today by Rich Johnston, who we know is a piece of garbage. But you know what? Let's go ahead and read what he has to say.
Pencils down, hookers.
Yep. Marvel Comics has let more freelancers know that they are to pause work on current Marvel comic assignments. Previously, Marvel had paused 15 to 20% of titles being published as a result of the current global situation, with no print comic books being distributed to comic book stores, digital comics being suspended, and the Comic Hub solution being rejected. There was a time when that Comics Hub thing was like going to be the savior of the world, and then a day later, no, nobody wants to do it.
Nobody wants digital comics. They're fucking worthless.
They don't. Lots of publishers have asked creators to pause work for now. At the time, the chosen titles were described as titles linked to movies and TV launches such as Black Widow and Taskmaster, as well as launch titles that may need more favorable publishing environments to launch in. Now, we know what's so funny is independent creators, CG creators, none of us are putting down the pencil. We're still working,
Oh,
because we've already identified a viable alternative to what was going on currently.
Direct to the consumer.
That's right, direct to the
Hey,
consumer.
man, you sell 3,000 copies, which is not too bad for an independent book through the comic shop. You're not going to make any money. You sell
Yeah.
3,000 direct to your customer, you can make money.
And I honestly don't care. I don't want digital comics. I don't.
I don't either. They are useless.
They are not a
I don't have a problem with offering them eventually for people to just to look at on the go.
mhm.
But your
digital
your real
digital
customer is going to be the guy who's going to want a physical copy.
yeah,
It's just it's a part of the experience.
digital previews is something I could see. Like if you have a graphic novel and the first chapter was a digital preview, I could understand that. But the entire book, no, I've got to have a physical copy. I got to have something in my hands.
Me too.
And I don't think that's ever going to change for me.
Not for me either.
Yeah. The article goes on, says, with another similar edict, the books will have to be across the existing lines. In comparison, DC has reportedly only paused a handful of titles, many of which haven't even been solicited yet, and has also moved creators onto the new Batman Black and White digital first comic book. You know, I like the Batman Black and White series, the limited series that they have done, the backup series that they've done, where all the stories are 8 pages.
Yeah, they're cool.
And they're gorgeous. Some of them are really nice, and I love them when they collect them, especially in a hardcover. Yes. I'm not going to buy a digital comic book like that. It's just not going to happen.
No. Give that away as a preview to get somebody to order the hard copy.
Right. While new publishers, Bad Ideas, and AWA have been upping their production and approaching creators who suddenly have a lot of time on their hands. that's a yeah.
Pencils down, bitch.
That's right. Which comic books and which creators have been affected at Marvel is not clear. I've been told that it will apply to some X-Men related titles that had already built up a lot of complete issues anyway, and Deadpool was another mention. Declan Shelvey posted in his newsletter that he had a phone call to confirm he was continuing work on his Punisher comic book, the first issue of which should have been out last week. Punisher is one of those mainstays, you know, when the comic book industry starts putting out issues again, the Punisher is going to be something people would buy. Not the New Warriors, not the Children of the Atom, whatever that crap was with Vita Ayala, not America Chavez. Those stuff nobody's going to buy those. But Punisher, that's like name brand, you know.
Wait, is this Punisher going to be allowed to actually use a gun?
Well, Duncan Shelvey, I believe, is the artist, not the writer, so I'm not sure who's writing the series. And I think that was a writer's edict. I don't like guns. I'm a little girl and I don't like guns. So, yeah.
Understand the character and write them that way.
And what people love about them, right?
Yes.
All right.
If you're going to write Green Arrow, understand why people like Green Arrow and who Ollie is. If you're going to write Punisher, understand who Frank Castle is.
Yep. All right, it goes on. Marvel Comics representatives confirmed to Bleeding Cool that they have paused some more titles for the same reasons as a few weeks ago, but declined to share the names or creative teams for specific titles as of yet. They stated that they would share more details in coming weeks. They also reconfirmed that all talent would be paid in full for their work that they have been completed. Well, duh.
Some people I don't think are getting that, especially if you're an independent, man, well, unless there's a kill fee in your clause, you might be SOL on with a lot of publishers because that happens.
I think people who had regular work at Marvel and DC are going to be okay, at least in the short run. It's people that were doing the independent stuff that an industry-wide shutdown hurts the most, you know?
Oh, yeah. And if there's no kill fee in your contract, and with some of the illustration stuff I used to do at White Wolf a long time ago, a lot of that stuff had a kill fee. So if I finished the job, turned it in, there's one thing I did. I did like 40 illustrations for a board game. It got canceled.
Right.
I still got paid. I still got paid.
Right.
I got paid the kill fee. even though the project got killed, they still had to pay me like 50%.
Right. And you still got to keep the art as well, right?
Yeah, I have the original.
Okay.
They're horrible, but yeah.
Well, if they weren't published, they lost not all value. They retain value as pieces of art, but not as published pieces of art.
Yeah.
Oh. All right.
That board game, it never happened. The project got killed.
Right. Well, then it just wraps this up by saying Bleeding Cool continues to cover the many and myriad changes to the comic industry being imposed by this current global situation. And we will continue to list such changes with this link. Now, I'm surprised he didn't say Trump is bad at the same time, but
Yeah. Well, he either ran out of room.
Well, it was a short article. I didn't realize it was going to be that short. I thought it was going to have more meat to it.
He's off his venomous game.
This coronavirus has put him under the
weather.
weather.
I know. Yeah, I wonder if he's okay. Is he all right? He didn't take an obvious cheap shot.
Hey, you want to see some comics?
I bet he didn't write that himself. It lacked his usual vitriol.
Yeah, you want to see some comics? I got a small stack.
You're going to show him anyway.
Well, if it's just you, I mean,
you're going to show him anyway. Come on, own it.
All right. Give me just a second. Let me go grab the stack. Actually, I've got 2 stacks, so I'll grab more recent one. Let me put these back. I don't know if there's anything in here that's going to knock you out, but there are some. I do have some. Hey, remember these type of books?
Yeah. Well, 90s back, like the stuff that really gets me excited is 90s, 80s, 70s.
Yeah.
This 60s too.
This was a weird one when it first came out. This is X-Force number 50. Mm-hmm. This is the X-Force that Rob Liefeld started and was huge. And Adam Polina was the artist at the time. This is a double size, had a quadruple gatefold cover. And you know what's so weird is the title of the book is on the back inside cover where it says X-Force.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
But it's better than a lot of stuff today because it is dynamic, and they're trying to be dynamic. They're trying to be exciting. The Cable figure's pretty cool. There's some other stuff in there that I think is really whack.
Yeah, I don't remember Sunspot being able to fly, but I guess his powers morphed and he was able to.
I don't know exactly.
Well.
But look, there's like a real effort to be exciting and dynamic.
Oh yeah, well, one of the things I actually reread this issue. I thought it was great. It's just nothing but action. Well, once it starts getting action, it's all page after page of fighting and action. I mean, it's great. He's
trying to do cool stuff with the panels. He's trying to do, like instead of that just being, since it's a straight on shot of the characters, he tilted it a little.
Yep.
Instead of just being plain,
Well, Adam Polina had a really weird style, but I liked it. I remember thinking this issue was cool. I hated the fact that the title was on the inside back cover.
Yeah, that's
but
weird.
Then again, it's a cool issue. I'm glad I picked it up.
It might be the kind of thing, if you picked up 2, you might want to rip the cover off and put it in a frame.
Oh, yeah, that's true. This is X Factor. This is issue number 73. I think I have. Oh, here's 74.
Oh, it's Larry Stroman.
Yes.
Those are great X Factors.
71. Let me see. Did I have another one? Yep.
I don't love them the way I love the Walter Simonson ones, but I still really like it. Stroman's artwork's really exciting. It's really fun.
This was probably the prior creative change before Larry Stroman was the Joe Quesada one, which that one only lasted a couple of issues. I don't remember how many it lasted, but it was nice. It was good. Larry Stroman was just like that. This was a change in the comic itself. New team, new creators,
new
and it was great.
X-Factor. They were government funded at that point.
Yep. And this was Larry Stroman just knocked me on my ass when I saw this.
The original team, rejoined the X-Men. They were the original X-Men.
Right.
They rejoined the X-Men because after Inferno, they were like, "Oh my God, you guys are alive!"
But I picked
back together.
Yeah, I picked up 71, 72,
Mm-hmm.
73, 74, and I think I might have 75 in here, but they were all Larry's. Yep, 75.
There we go.
So this is a great little set. And now Mr. Sinister and the Nasty Boys. But this is all fantastic Larry Stroman. You know, this is before he left to go follow along with the Image guys.
Yeah, and he started Tribe, and he
Yep.
just couldn't get it done, which was weird. Like that
Yeah.
book just fell into obscurity.
I don't think it ever had a second issue, to be honest with you. I'll have to double
Yes,
check. But
I don't think it came out. I don't think subsequent issues for Tribe came out under the Image banner, but they did come out.
I don't know if you can hear me, but I think my computer froze. So hold on a second.
I hear you. Yeah, your image is frozen.
Okay,
But
now I'm back.
You're good. But there were some other issues of Tribe that did come out. I don't remember at what point it was through another publisher.
Yes, I think you're right about that. It wasn't through Image though.
Mm-hmm.
But okay.
And
Got a
if it was just, I don't know, 6 months or so were in between issues or something crazy. It's like, how did he ever meet the deadline at Marvel?
Well, I'll definitely have to look. Oh, hey, Camille. How's it going? I'll have to definitely check and see. I haven't seen any of those issues anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from time to time, I'll see issue 1 pop up, but that's it. So
I don't know if I have them here.
Yeah, I'll have to keep an eye on.
I have some of them.
Here's one that you might like. This is Orion from DC. This is all double-sized issue, all Walter Simonson. Written, penciled, everything.
Oh,
and
cool. It looks like some pretty good Walter Simonson.
Yeah. Well, whenever you see lots and lots of words and sound effects built into the art, you know it's good Walter Simonson.
Yeah. I need to start thinking about that with my book, and I need to think about that and build, because I do digital layouts,
right?
Print to ink. I need to build my sound effects into my art.
Yes.
That way I can set them up with a font, rearrange the font, mess with it, play with it, and then when I ink it, it gets hand inked, and that adds that rawness to it. And I think that would be better. My word balloons and dialogue may not be on the page, but I need to think about that and put my sound effects, build that into the art, so it's a part of the art.
Yeah. Plus, there's a backup story by John Paul Leon on art, which is very nice. Very nice. We've got
the look and smell of old newsprint is pretty great.
Oh yeah. Actually, this is not newsprint. So this one is, well, this one is this one newsprint? Yeah, maybe.
It looks like that the higher quality stuff.
No, this one is more newsprint.
I still think it's the better quality stuff though.
Oh yeah.
It's not it's a higher quality paper than if you go back 10 issues to still Walter Simonson.
Yeah, like this one. This is New X-Men number 135. This has got Grant Morrison and Frank Quietly on art, but it's that slick paper.
Yeah, which I don't mind it, but
it tends to last longer. You know, it doesn't deteriorate like the newsprint does. So
it's acid free. The old newsprint had acids in it. Comic books literally ate themselves.
Yep. That's why there's not a lot of the old stuff. This is Sandman number 69 from 1995. This one has Mark Hempel on art, which he's a give or take, but he's better than a lot of the other artists that they had on this series.
What I love about those are those Dave McKean covers.
Oh yeah.
Dave McKean, to me.
And whenever I see a Sandman, I pick him up, whether I got it or not. You know. Here's one just for you.
I'm a big fan of the fine artists who've come into comics, like Dave McKean, Kent Williams.
Yep.
I gobble that stuff up.
Here's Fighting American number 3, Rules of the Game, with art by Ed McGuinness.
That's weird. Ed McGuinness is good, but that's weird.
He draws really big characters well, but this is back in the day when. I think this is really early for him in his career.
Fairly early, like when he was just like getting noticed.
Yeah, but it's just fun. Cat and Mouse. Now I grabbed this one because it was Mitch Bird on art, but this is issue number 4. This is really, really early. Mitch Bird.
I'm not that. that series doesn't even really ring a bell for me.
Yeah, it was from Aircel. Arcel. I don't know how you pronounce that, but it was one of those independent ones that I was familiar with, just never bought. We got an Uncanny Avengers number 17. I think I already have picked up this issue before, but it has Pepe Larraza on art, so I like it. He's a fantastic artist. And Todd would, of course, point out the fact that there is no A at the end of his name, and I add it in there anyway. I just do. Got a random issue of Teen Titans, issue number 41 from 2007. The Teen Titans Reborn, and this has Ryan Benjamin art on the inside, which isn't bad. So, but Super Sons number 11. I think I already have a copy of this in the store as well, but you know what? I like the Super Sons, so it was worth picking up another copy. Here is probably one of the most McFarlane issues.
That's another old McFarlane? Oh,
yep,
man.
and this is a later one. This is issue number 35. I think he started around 17 or 18, but you've got a distinctive McFarlane cover. You've got distinctive McFarlane interiors, and there's a couple of panels where you see capes and all, and it's the quintessential McFarlane.
Like that you can see he's almost there. He's almost the McFarlane we came to know.
Yep. And you still see he's working on his style. He's working on the style.
By then he's almost there.
Yep. This is JLA Classified number 2. I think the first 2 or 3 issues storyline of this was done by Ed McGuinness and Dexter Vines, and this is much better in Ed McGuinness art-wise.
Yeah. Plus Dexter Vines is a pretty awesome inker.
He is. Very cool. Actually, I'm trying to put together a series of these for a bundle sale, so that's why I'm looking for those. We got Justice League America number 61. This is from the Dan Jurgens era. Rich Burchett on art, which is not bad. But I did not collect this title when it was coming out. This is right around the time or right before the death of Superman. And
I wasn't buying a lot of DC by the time of the death of Superman.
Yeah. Well, that's what kind of pulled me in, was that whole storyline, but it's a cool one. Ooh, this is Ash, The Fire Within number 1. This was like a second series for Ash from Joe Quesada and Jimmy Palmiotti. And I don't remember if I've actually read any of these, but it's all quintessential Joe. And
when Joe Quesada was awesome.
Yes, that's true. Got a random rebirth issue of Green Lanterns number 13. Cool. Here's another Justice League America from that Dan Jurgens days. Got a rebirth issue of Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps. Under the Knife of the Controllers. I did, but I also paused and thought about it before I said it. This one's got like...
I'll give it. You know what, dude? I'll give it to you.
Yeah, I know. Well, I purposely stop and think, you know that whole thing about the idea of think before you speak. I often never do that, except when my wife's laughing.
Really?
Except when I'm reading out the titles of comics, I try to stop before I speak, so I make sure I get it right. And then again, I screw it up all the time too. So here's another issue. This is Avengers Assembled number 20 with Pepe Larraza on art. This is not as good art as his current style, but I saw his name, so I picked it up. Oh, I am so pissed. I actually pulled out an issue of The Outsiders back in the Jim Aparo day, and I pulled it out, and on the cover it said the writer, artist, and inker at the bottom, and it said Todd McFarlane. And I went, oh, no way. I don't remember Todd McFarlane ever doing the interior art on an Outsiders issue. I pulled it open. It was Jim Aparo, so I started flipping to the back to see if there was like a Todd McFarlane backup. Nope, there wasn't one. Somebody screwed up and put his name on the cover, and he didn't even do anything in the issue.
I'd have picked it up anyway.
Yeah. And it's cheap. I can get it if I want it, but I was like so disappointed. I was like, oh, that would have been on. And I stuck it back in the bin.
Oh, no, I would have got it. A Jim Aparo Outsiders is still pretty cool.
Well, that's true. That's true. I'll look for it. I'll look for it just for you. This is a IDW Transformers issue 2A. which I don't know. It just looked colorful, and I picked it up because you never know.
Coloring is nice. Who colored it?
Well, the cover is really nice, but interior wise, let's see. Colors by Zach Atkinson.
That name sounds familiar.
Art by E.J. Sue. Okay. This I actually picked up because I thought it was funny. This is Thunderstrike number 4. It's got interior art by Ron Friends, which is awesome. But on the cover it says, "From the pages of Venom, the Amazing Spider-Man." Is that not a slap in the damn face?
Yeah, you're pulling Spider-Man.
Was there a time in Spider-Man Marvel's history where Venom was more popular than Spider-Man?
Maybe he had become more popular in that moment.
I don't know. I don't think that's ever happened. I think he was popular because of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But to put on the cover, "From the pages of Venom, the Amazing Spider-Man," that's kind of a slap in the face to Spider-Man.
I guess they just wanted to put the word Venom on the cover to get you to look at it.
There you go. There you go.
Probably there was probably that Venom miniseries, that first Venom miniseries at that time, and it was probably, and I believe that first miniseries sold like gangbusters.
Yeah, I think so too.
So, but then again, a lot of stuff sold like gangbusters.
That has one of my all-time favorite Spider-Man images where you do the half face.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I think
that's great.
If I was going to commission a Spider-Man sketch from an artist, that's what I would ask for, because I think those are cool.
They developed this visual language for Spider-Man. You knew what that meant.
Yep. And it was also so that people that would pick these up for the first time, know nothing about Peter Parker, nothing about Spider-Man, would realize that's Spider-Man in disguise, you know?
Well, Spider-Man in his real identity. Spider-Man is the disguise.
Oh, here's another one specifically for you. Star-Lord, number 1. Chip Zdarsky and what's his name on art? Chris Anka.
Very.
Yep. This is. Actually, I think this is more of a.
That's pretty.
Actually, I think this is more of a.
What's the word you use to describe not heterosexual?
I think this might be more of a Kodiak book. Maybe I'll put this one aside for Kodiak since he's not here.
Yeah.
And then random issue of New Age of Heroes Damage number 2. I enjoyed Damage. I thought it was good. It was DC's version of the Hulk.
Yes.
And it wasn't horrible.
I was buying several of those books, but I kept dropping them like one after the other because the creators wouldn't stop lecturing fans, calling fans names.
Yeah.
Saying Zach's a Nazi, Ethan's a Nazi.
And you're a Nazi.
And you're a Nazi if you watch a YouTube channel. Like, who are you to police what I watch or who I follow on Twitter? Yep. I'm not going to do that to anyone else. If you like my artwork, I would greatly appreciate a sale. But you get to like whoever else you want to like. The only person I berate and humiliate for what they like is Andrew.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, I want you to know, I did find, and I was going to save it, but since you kind of brought it up, I did find my copy of. Oh crap! Where did I put it? Oh, here it is.
My copy of.
Fantastic Four in the Steelbook case.
God, I can't even watch a trailer for that turd.
I know.
It looks like it's like you fundamentally don't. They make those other movies, which are like C- movies, look fantastic by comparison.
Yeah. Well, there was an interview with some of the actors, and at one point they said that the director's vision of the movie was that they weren't heroes, they were kids with disabilities. Their powers were disability. And I'm like, wow, what? You obviously don't understand anything about the source material. Yeah. You know? And I think that's...
He deserves it. D.
It's all right. But, well, Avery, I appreciate you coming by. Right. It's always good to have you.
Yeah, I know, amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. D says I should burn that movie. No, I do not. We do not burn steelbook cases in this family.
Okay, don't burn the steel bookcase, but microwave that disc.
I might be willing to do that because I could always replace the disc if I had to.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking about doing, because I haven't done a Steelbook Attic video in so long. I was thinking about going back through all my my Steelbook case video movies. You know, the ones on the screen, the behind me, and do like A to Z showing off of all my steelbook cases, like start with the A's and go all the way to Z's and do like 10 at a time.
That is riveting.
I know, but here's the thing. I just did a quick inventory of all the books I have. Guess how many steelbook cases I have? Steelbook case movies I have.
Enough that it would hurt me if I guess correctly. I'm going to say 200. Again, this is one of those things I'm a little bit ashamed to know you. Let's say 300.
302.
302.
Now, some of them are like box sets of movies. Like I have the Predator set, which has actually 3 movies in one steelbook case. And then I have like the Spider-Man ones, which actually it's all 5 movies in well, it's 2 separate cases. So technically I count those as 5 movies. But yeah.
Wow.
So I don't have 300 steelbook cases, but I have 300 movies in steelbook cases.
Wow.
So if I did 10 movies at a time, I could make 30 videos.
So what's the return on those if you decide to sell them?
Sell them? Actually, there are a few that I bought duplicate copies to have for sale.
Actually, there probably are some that actually are worth more than what you paid for them, but it's probably a few.
Yeah. Well, there's a few, but like when Batman: The Killing Joke came out on steelbook case, I bought 2 copies. I didn't do it for the purpose of reselling one. I actually did it because a friend of mine was like, "Hey, I can't get to the store. If you see a copy, pick it up for me." And I said, "Sure, no problem." And then he ended up getting it. I'm like, "That's no big. I could always put it in the store and resell it. Not a big deal." And then the other one I know I have a duplicate of that's still sealed and so forth is the Wonder Woman animated movie.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first ones, which was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
So I got an extra copy of that. So those will eventually make it into the store, but
I like the older DC animated movies. They're much better.
Oh yeah.
The stuff I've seen over the last couple of years is.
Now, have you seen the Red Sun one yet?
No, I've been so disappointed by so many. I just dipped out.
Well, that one was there was a steelbook case release for it at Target, and it was only available in store. And every store I've gone to, they don't have any more copies. So I haven't picked it up yet because of that simple fact.
That's the one based on the one that he was a commie, right?
Yes.
Here's the thing: there's an animated version of the comic where they animate the comic art on YouTube. It's been there for years, and I've seen that.
Oh, okay. Well,
where they just those things, the motion comic things people used to make. They used to make. There's one of those for that.
Yeah, I wasn't into motion comics either, so
yeah,
it's like reading a digital comic. Yeah.
I'm okay with it as long as they're super cheap and it's something I wasn't going to buy anyway. Like, I'm not interested. I just want to catch up with, like, what's this X-Men thing about?
Right.
Then watch it. That way it's better than watching, like, comics explained. Wasn't
there a digital comic of some Ethan Van Sciver X-Men?
There might be. Marvel did a bunch of those in the early 2000s.
Yeah, it was part of that
so
took over after Frank Quietly.
There could be.
Yeah. I don't know if I care enough to look for it, but I think it's out there.
I have one. I have a DVD one, and it's one of the Ultimate Stories.
Oh, okay.
And it's and there used to be some on Netflix. There used to be several of them on Netflix, I believe. But I have like where Hulk, the one where Ultimate Hulk, which rips Wolverine in half. I have the DVD of that. Somebody gave it to me.
Yeah, I think at one point Marvel decided we're going to go away from doing animation and just do digital comics or digital motion comics, and then that died out and they stopped doing it altogether. Yeah. You think they're owned by a company whose known for making animation. You'd think Marvel animation would be priority,
Yeah.
and it just hasn't happened.
Because I mean, to me, it was a lot like watching the really really old cartoons, the really old Fantastic Four, where it would be like a moving mouth with just some Jack Kirby art.
I remember those. Oh my God,
Yeah.
I remember those.
Yeah, and I think that's a fine way. If you know what, digital comics should be that over what they are, in my opinion. That way you can kind of listen to it while you're doing something.
Well, that was one of the conversations that I had with Todd. When he was working for Marvel, they wanted to do something with digital animation, and he had come up with an idea, and I'll probably let him explain it, where they took those old Spider-Man and Iron Man and Submariner cartoons and redid the voices so that they were saying something different to make it funny, but found out that they didn't have the rights to those videos. They didn't have the rights to those cartoons.
Yeah.
Because Stan Lee had sold them off way back in the heyday, and they couldn't use any of them. And it's like, damn, that would have been funny as heck.
I remember talking to him back then. Like, yeah, that'd be perfect. You do this like really crazy, wacky, little transgressive, sort of, Adult Swim type of thing with those old cartoons. That would be fantastic. And that's exactly what they were going to try. Oh, when Captain America throws his mighty shield. Yeah, exactly, D.
Yep, that's the one.
It was a great idea. It would have been hysterical. But granted, also, he found out once he got there working on stuff, they were actually afraid to be a little edgy.
Yeah, that whole thing about Wolverine pooping, that was a little much. But
it's funny if you look at old Watthas. I mean, there's that whole Mike Mignola one where they put Wolverine in drag.
Yes.
At the end of the thing, Wolverine's in the Hellfire Club. This is drawn by Mike Mignola. Wolverine's in a corset and fishnet thigh highs and high heels.
If they reprinted those and collected them today, that whole segment would have to be completely redrawn or just cut out altogether.
Because
they couldn't use it.
There was fart jokes, and there was a little bit of potty humor. I mean, there was nothing that wasn't PG or PG-13 in Watha.
Right.
Marvel wasn't afraid to poke themselves in the eye and laugh.
Now, I recently did come across some Watha issues at the store. I may have to go back and pick those up because I remember them being silly and stupid, and I wasn't a fan of that. Whatever. I was never into Mad Magazine or any of that stuff.
Dude, like
there's some appreciation for some of those artists. Some of them were fantastic, incredible.
Oh, there's one where it's titled it's something about mismatched team ups, and it's this gigantic version of Colossus crashed into a wall where he's making a crater. And you see these ribbony legs coming out from underneath him, and it's Magneto's legs. And here's the thing: it's drawn by Jim Lee.
Oh, really?
There's an Akira parody in one of the Watthas called "I Hear Ya," where they're like, "Kaneda, I hear ya," and it's blowing everything up, and it's drawn by Jim Lee.
I'm gonna definitely have to look for those then.
Yeah.
So.
I can't remember who drew it, but there's one of the Wolverine versus the Pulverizer.
I remember those. I think it was Hilary Barta did a lot of those.
Yeah. There's one of them. I can't remember which one that just had me in tears laughing.
Yeah. John Byrne actually did a couple of those too, if I remember correctly.
There's some great stuff in there, man. Marvel was not like they made fun of themselves brutally. They did not take it all. They took it all in stride. They didn't take themselves too seriously. They weren't, they didn't worry about hurting feelings.
Because everybody knew how to take a joke.
Yeah, they even made fun of some DC stuff, and it was all meant and fun.
And there was a lot of self-deprecating humor. They made a lot of fun of their own selves. So.
Oh, dude, big time, dude, big time. The whole Wolverine, and the Wolverine in the corset and everything.
I swear, if that page of art ever comes up, I'll have to see if we can try to get you.
Oh, dude, it's got to be thousands of dollars. Thousands.
You never know. There's collectors out there. They're passing away left and right, and their families are like, "What are we gonna do with this crap? Put it on eBay." You know?
But that stuff was hysterical, man. And
Oh yeah.
I loved I bought them all back when. If they've put any other out from the original series that I don't have, I don't know. But
I wonder if there's collected editions. I've really got to look into that.
I don't know. I recommend it if you want to laugh, if you want to peek at it, if you're relatively new to comics, but you're learning the history of characters, at least back when there was some attempt at continuity, and you want to laugh.
Yeah. Well, see, one of the things I thought was funny about is that was also at a time where they also made fun of the creators,
Yes.
the writers, and the artists, and you got to meet them through through the making fun of themselves and each other. You know.
It was all fine. It was all in fun. It was all fine. No one got butthurt.
Yeah, we live in a different world today. They probably could not do at least not the way they did back then.
It would be a bunch of LOL, so random. Oh my God, I'm eating cupcakes. Look at that. I'm a superhero. Oh my God, I'm posting on social media. Isn't that quirky? It's like, yes, the same stupid joke that's in your book that nobody fucking.
Well, I was just gonna say, so just like their regular books, then
it wouldn't be any. Modern Marvel is a parody of what Marvel was and should be.
Wouldn't that be funny if we found out that some of the Marvel books, the current Marvel books, which are so horrible and bad, are actually the artists and the writers' attempt at doing again, but making it mainstream?
No, it's a bunch of losers that are afraid to try.
Yeah, that too. All right, well, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. I know we went a little long this evening, but we were just having a good time, and I appreciate everybody who came out and joined. D, thank you so much for coming in. I sent you the link. You could have joined, man.
Oh.
I understand. Sometimes Avery's a little overwhelming. You don't want to get the internet herpes, so I understand that.
Internet herpes.
Yeah. All right, guys.
How you're going to get it.
Yeah. All right, I appreciate everybody coming out, and we'll see you. If I don't stream tomorrow, it'll definitely be on Friday. So just keep a ear to the grindstone. That's not the phrase. Ear to the floor, something like that. You know, I'll let you know. Bye.
Bye.